have you ever just looked straight up at the sky and wondered what's really up there? I mean, it looks like a whole lot of nothing, right? But it's not. It's actually this huge, multi-layered shield, an invisible ocean of gas that makes literally all life on Earth possible. Today, we're going to take a journey up through it.
So, what is it? What's the one thing that keeps our planet alive and kicking? Well, the answer is floating right above all of our heads. It's what protects us, what lets us breathe. It's the thing that regulates our entire world. It's our atmosphere.
You know, in simple terms, the atmosphere is just this blanket of gases wrapped around the Earth, held on tight by gravity. But that's underselling it. Without this blanket, our planet would be a cold, barren rock, just like the moon. It is our planetary life support system, plain and simple.
So what are we actually breathing in right now? Well, here's something that might surprise you. We all talk about oxygen, right? It's essential, but it only makes up about 21% of the air. The vast majority, a whopping 78%, is nitrogen. And then there's this tiny 1% sliver of a bunch of other gases.
Okay, so here's our flight plan. We're going to take a trip straight up through the atmosphere. First, we'll get the big picture of its protective role. Then we'll climb through the layers where we see weather and where jets fly. After that, it's meteors and auroras, and finally we'll hit the very edge, the gateway to space.
So let's start with the basics. It's so easy to think of the atmosphere as just air, but it's so much more than that. It's an active, dynamic shield, and it's doing a bunch of critical jobs for us 24/7.
Let's just run through its greatest hits, shall we? I mean, obviously it gives us the oxygen we breathe, but it also acts like a global thermostat, keeping Earth's temperature from going completely haywire. It's our planet's sunscreen, blocking out nasty UV rays. It's a cosmic shooting gallery that burns up most incoming meteors. Oh, and it's the engine that drives every single bit of our weather and climate. No big deal, right?
All right, let's start our climb. We're now moving up into the lower, more familiar parts of the sky. These are the layers that affect our daily lives, from the rain outside your window to the flight you might take on vacation.
You can think of our atmosphere as a 5-story building. Each floor is a different layer with a totally different job. We're going to start on the ground floor, the troposphere, and work our way all the way up to the penthouse suite, the exosphere.
So first stop, the troposphere. This is it. This is our home. It's the air we're breathing right now. It's where we live our entire lives. And every cloud you've ever seen, every storm, every gust of wind, that's all happening right here in the troposphere.
Now this layer is dense. I mean, it's got about 75% of the entire atmosphere's mass packed into it. And that density is why all our weather gets churned up right here. And, as anyone who's ever climbed a mountain can tell you, the higher you go up in this layer, the colder it gets.
Okay, climbing higher, we are now entering the stratosphere. The air up here is way more stable, way calmer. But its real claim to fame is that it's home to Earth's vital sunscreen, the ozone layer.
And this layer is no joke. The ozone acts like a planetary pair of sunglasses. It soaks up most of the sun's really dangerous ultraviolet or UV radiation. It's an absolutely essential shield for all life on the surface. Okay, now here's where things get a little weird. Remember how the troposphere gets colder as you go up? Well, the stratosphere does the exact opposite. It actually gets warmer the higher you go. So why the flip? It's because that ozone layer is absorbing all that energy from the sun, basically heating the layer from the top down.
And hey, here's a fun fact for you. That calm, stable air is exactly why jets fly up here. They climb above all the crazy, turbulent weather in the troposphere to give us that nice, smooth ride. So next time you're on a plane, you can look out the window and say, hey, we're cruising through the stratosphere.
All right, let's keep climbing. We're now pushing into the middle layers. This is where things get really interesting. This is where our planet's shield goes head-to-head with stuff from outer space, and where you can see some of the most beautiful light shows on Earth.
Welcome to the mesosphere. If the stratosphere is our sunscreen, you can think of the mesosphere as our anti-meteor shield. This layer is where millions of little bits of rock and dust from space meet a very fiery end.
Now here's the ironic part. Even though it's where meteors burn up, the mesosphere is actually the coldest part of our entire atmosphere. As these meteoroids slam into the air particles at incredible speeds, the friction gets so intense that they just vaporize. That's what we see as shooting stars.
And from the coldest layer, we climb right into one of the hottest, the thermosphere. Up here, temperatures can absolutely skyrocket because it's absorbing super high-energy radiation from the sun. But, and this is a big but, it wouldn't actually feel hot to us
because the air is so incredibly thin. There just aren't enough particles to transfer that heat to you. Two really cool things happen in the thermosphere. First, part of it, called the ionosphere, acts like a giant mirror for radio waves, bouncing them back to Earth. That's super important for long-distance communication. And second, this is where the magic happens. The breathtaking northern and southern lights, the auroras, they put on their show right here. We've almost made it. We're at the very top floor of our atmosphere now. This is the last wispy layer that separates our world from the cold, empty vacuum of space.
Our final destination is the exosphere. And really, there's no hard border here. It's more like a gradual fade out. The air is ridiculously thin, and gas molecules up here can just drift off, escaping Earth's gravity and blending into the vastness of space.
And this is where we've put our eyes and ears in the sky. The exosphere is where countless satellites are orbiting the Earth right now, giving us everything from GPS on our phones to our global weather forecasts.
So when we look back at our whole journey, what's the big takeaway? It's that every single layer, from the weather churning below us to the auroras dancing way above us, has its own unique and irreplaceable job. They all have to work together as a system to keep our planet safe and alive. Which really just brings me to one final thought. This entire, complex, life-giving system, in the grand scheme of the universe, it's an impossibly thin layer. Realizing that this delicate 5-story blanket is all that separates us from the endless void of space, well, how does that change your perspective when you look up at the sky?